Alright, what's up guys? So today we'll be going over parallel and perpendicular lines. Alright. Parallel and perpendicular. Now, I know what you're thinking. I already know this, sir. Yes, parallel lines, they do not intersect. They don't touch each other. Perpendicular lines, they do intersect. There's a lot more than that. Oh, parallel, the symbol for parallel is two L's. That's the symbol for parallel. Perpendicular, the symbol for perpendicular is an upside down capital T. Alright? Now, parallel lines. Parallel lines have to have the same slope. If they do, then you can say that they're parallel and they never touch each other. Perpendicular lines, they have inverse reciprocal slopes. And you're like, what, sir? What are you talking about? Well, here in parallel, your slopes, I call slope M, just so you know. So here in parallel lines, they equal each other. They are equal. Here in perpendicular lines, when you multiply the slopes, you multiply them, they equal -1. If they equal -1, you have perpendicular lines. If they don't equal -1, then you do not have perpendicular lines. Alright? Let's go over a few examples. Alright, now look at these two questions. Now, yeah, I would pause the video here and write them down. Alright. Find the slope of the line that passes through these 2 points. Here's A and B. Okay? Now, if they're on a graph, you can kind of cheat and use the rise over run method. Rise divided by run. What do you mean, sir? Alright. I always start from the bottom point. It makes life easy. Start from the bottom point and you count to get to the top one. So you're here and you have to rise 1, 2, 3. 3 times into your level. So my rise is 3 divided by my run. So I'm right here. I need to go 1 to the right. That is my run. And since I went to the right, this is a positive 1. What is 3 divided by 1? 3. So my slope for number 1 is 3. Just in case you didn't get it. Look at number 2. Start from the bottom point. Here it's A. Now rise 1, 2. There you go. 2. I'm level with B. So my rise here is 2. Divided by, now my run. How many times do I have to go over to touch B? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I went to the left, so that is negative. So my slope here is -2 over 5. Right? Now let's try some when they're not on graphs, and you can't use the shortcut method as rise over run. Alright, so again here I would pause the video and write down the question. So the question says, find the slope of each line. Are the lines parallel? Now if you look at this and you just write down yes on your paper, yes they're parallel, I'm not even going to grade it. I'm just going to be whatever, wrong. Because I want to know the slope. Alright, pictures can be deceiving. So look at the slope. I want to prove it mathematically. So here's one line. It's on a graph. So I'm going to do rise over run. AB and CD. I'm going to do rise over run. Start from the bottom one. 1, 2, 3. I rose 3 and I run 1, 2. 3 over 2. Now C and D. Here C to D. Start from the bottom point. Here it is. 1, 2, 3. Divide by the run. 1, 2. Are these two numbers the same? Yes. So then yes, they're parallel. Now if we wrote this and have these numbers, there you go. Correct answer. Alright, on this next video, are they perpendicular? I don't know. Figure it out. A, B, C, D. I don't know why I put that, but alright. A to B. B, A, right here. B's in the bottom, so we'll start at the bottom. Gotta run, and we gotta rise first. Rise over run. Rise over run, don't forget that. So let's rise here. 1, 2, 3, 4. My rise is 4, and my run is 1, 2. 4 over 2. Can you reduce 4 divided by 2? Yes, to 2. So right now my slope is 2. Now C and D. Here's C to D. Which one is the lowest point? Not C, it's D. So we're going to rise with this point. Rise 1. And we're going to run 1, 2. But since I went to the left here, that's a negative. So I have one slope of 2 and this slope of a negative 1/2. And how do I tell if they're perpendicular? We multiply. 2 times negative 1/2. If, question mark, I get negative 1, then yes, they are perpendicular. If you do not, you say no. So if you multiply these, you get negative 1. If you don't know, use your calculator. Use your phone. Yes, you do. Check mark. It does equal negative 1. So which means yes. They're perpendicular. And you have the proof here to show it. Next one. Alright, the next question. Tell whether the lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Now parallel means same slope, perpendicular means they multiply to negative 1, and neither would be, well, neither of them. So like, what the heck, sir? There's no graph. Exactly. So to find the slope, M, gotta use the slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. And since we have two lines, you have to do it 2 times. You're gonna have 2 of these formulas. x1, y1, x2, y2. Plug in the numbers right here. y2 is 3. Put the minus sign. And I go to y1. My y1 is 2. Divide by 3 minus 2 is 1. Now the bottom part. x2 is the 2 right here. Minus sign because the formula says minus. x1 is a negative 1. Uh-oh, 2 minuses make a plus. 2 plus 1 is 3. So this is my first slope, 1/3. Now I have to do line 2. Same formula. x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, so y2 goes first. y2 is 1. Put the minus sign. Then comes y1. y1 is 0. Divide by 1 minus 0 is 1. Divide. Now the bottom part. x2 right here, which is 3. Minus sign because it says to put a minus. Now x1. x1 is 0. 3 minus 0 is 3. You have 1/3 and 1/3, meaning that your two slopes are equal. And when they're equal, you have parallel lines. So these are parallel lines. Now had you multiplied them and they equal to -1, they would be perpendicular. And if there were none of them, then you put neither. Alright, tell which line through the given point is steeper. So again, two lines, you need to do two slopes. Use the formula from before, plug in the numbers, label x1, y1, and do the work. And see if you get what I'm getting. For line 1, I'm going to get 3 minus 0 over 1 minus 0, which is 3 over 1, which is 3. For line 2, you're going to get 6 minus 0 over 4 minus 0, which is 6 over 4. And you can reduce that to 3 over 2. Alright, and if you're just copying this down, it's not going to help you one bit on your work. So if you want to copy it down, that's your choice. But it's not going to help you. Go back and try to do the formula by hand. If you don't get my numbers, you're doing it wrong. If you get my numbers, fantastic. Now the steeper part. Right. The steeper part just means which number is the biggest number. So that was 3. And if you reduce this, that's 3 over 2, which is 1.5. So that's 3 and that's 1.5. Which one is the biggest number? 3, which is line 1. So line 1 is the steeper number. The steeper line. Right. The second to last example. Graph a line that is parallel to this line AB. And it has to go through this point P. Parallel. Parallel means same slope. So the slope for AB, we have a graph, so heck yeah. We can just do rise, divide by run. Start from the bottom point. Rise 1, 2, 2. My rise is 2. Divide by 1, 2, 3. And since I went to the right, it's a positive 3. So that's my rise. I mean my slope. 2 over 3. Now start here at P and rise 2, 1, 2. So we're right here at this point B, and then run 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. And then connect a line through here. So it's real hard to do on the computer. Something like that. There you go. That is a parallel line that goes through the point P. Now let's do one perpendicular and we'll be done. Alright. This one says graph the line that is perpendicular to this line. Perpendicular means we're going to make it cross somewhere. And it's not just going to cross anywhere. It's going to cross at 90 degrees. I forgot to go over that earlier. So a very important part in this video. Perpendicular lines make 90 degrees. Remember that. Perpendicular lines make 90. Right. So we need a slope. We have a graph, which is fantastic. We can do rise, divide by run. Here's the A's at the bottom. Start from the bottom. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I rose 3 here. And then I ran 1 to the right. So 1. My rise over run is 3. Now remember, for perpendicular, when you multiply, they have to equal -1. So how do we just cheat? You get that number, you flip the numbers over. So instead of 3 being on top, 1's on top, then the 3, and change the sign. -1/3. So right here, so instead of rising up 1, we can't because it's a negative, so we have to go down 1, and then 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. Right there. And make a line through there. There we go. Thanks guys, laters.